Breaking news. Gunners. Arsenal are turning up the heat, and this could be the most dramatic twist of the summer. Let's get into it. Arsenal are making serious moves in the transfer market, and two huge attacking stories have now collided. The Gunners are pushing forward with their interest in Juventus superstar Kenan Yıldız, while at the same time, a sensational proposal involving Julián Álvarez and Viktor Gyökeres is reportedly being discussed with Atlético Madrid. This is no longer just about monitoring players from a distance. Arsenal are actively trying to make things happen. Let's start with Kenan Yıldız. Arsenal have now made direct contact with Juventus regarding the Turkish international, with reports indicating that the latest communication between the two clubs could prove extremely important in determining whether a blockbuster deal can actually move forward. Yıldız has emerged as one of Arsenal's most exciting attacking targets after the club's disappointment in the pursuit of other major names. Recent reporting has linked Arsenal strongly with the 21-year-old, while speculation has even centered on the possibility of Gabriel Martinelli being included in a potential swap arrangement. And now comes the part that will have every Arsenal supporter watching this situation extremely closely. There are reports claiming that Kenan Yıldız has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. If that information proves accurate, it would represent a massive development, because Arsenal would then have made significant progress on the players' side of the deal. However, Juventus remain the major obstacle. The Italian giants have tied Yıldız down to a long-term contract and have made it clear that they do not want to lose one of their biggest young stars cheaply. That means Arsenal's negotiations with Juventus could now be absolutely crucial. The Gunners are not simply looking for another squad player. Yıldız is viewed as a player capable of becoming a major attacking figure for Mikel Arteta, with his versatility, technical quality, creativity and ability to operate across the forward line, making him an extremely attractive option. Imagine the possibilities. Bukayo Saka on one side, Kenan Yıldız attacking from the opposite flank, and suddenly Arsenal would have another young, explosive and technically gifted attacker capable of changing games. But Arsenal's transfer plans do not stop there. Julián Álvarez has now entered the story in a huge way. According to the claim attributed to Florian Plettenberg, Arsenal and Atlético Madrid have started discussions over a potential swap deal involving Julián Álvarez and Viktor Gyökeres. The reported Atletico proposal is understood to be €50 million plus Viktor Gyökeres in exchange for Julián Álvarez, with the Arsenal board now reviewing the proposal. And Gunners, just think about that for a moment. Arsenal could potentially be considering a deal that would see Viktor Gyökeres leave after just one season at the Emirates, while Julián Álvarez arrives as the headline attacking addition. This would be absolutely massive. Arsenal's interest in Álvarez is not new. The Argentine forward has been one of the club's major attacking targets, and recent reports have stated that Mikel Arteta personally contacted Álvarez in an attempt to convince him about a move to North London. Atletico also reportedly prefer selling the forward outside Spain, which could potentially make Arsenal an attractive destination. And there is another fascinating factor. Viktor Gyökeres is already an Arsenal player, meaning any swap would represent a spectacular change in Arteta's attacking plans. Gyökeres arrived at Arsenal with enormous expectations after his prolific spell at Sporting, and the club have reportedly valued what he brings physically and in front of goal. At the same time, reports have emerged questioning his long-term position in the squad, particularly with competition for the striker position. But Arsenal's board must now make a huge decision. Do they keep Gyökeres and continue developing the striker within Arteta's system? Or do they take the opportunity to bring in Álvarez, a player with Premier League experience, elite technical ability, versatility, and the capacity to play both as a central striker and in deeper attacking positions? That is the question currently hanging over the Emirates. And if Arsenal really are considering Gyökeres plus €50 million, this could become one of the most fascinating transfer negotiations of the entire summer. There is also an important warning for Arsenal fans. Not every report currently circulating means a deal is completed. Some reports describe negotiations or proposals, while others suggest Arsenal are still weighing their options. There is therefore a major difference between discussions, a proposal, and a completed agreement. The same applies to Kenan Yıldız. Arsenal's interest and contact with Juventus are being reported, and the possibility of a swap involving Martinelli has also appeared in today's reporting. But Juventus's stance and the final financial structure remain critical. So Arsenal could potentially be facing an extraordinary final phase of the transfer window. Kenan Yıldız, Julián Álvarez, Viktor Gyökeres. Three huge names, one massive Arsenal transfer puzzle. And the biggest question is whether Arteta wants to completely transform his attacking options before the window closes. If Yildiz arrives, Arsenal would be adding one of Europe's most exciting young attacking talents. If Álvarez arrives, Arsenal would be landing a proven elite forward who already understands the demands of English football. And if Gyökeres is used in the Álvarez deal, Arsenal supporters could be witnessing one of the boldest attacking decisions of the Arteta era. This is why the next conversations between Arsenal, Juventus and Atlético Madrid could be absolutely decisive. The Gunners have already shown this summer that they are prepared to spend big, move aggressively and target elite players. Now, with Yildiz reportedly closer on the personal side and Álvarez potentially available through a sensational player plus cash proposal, Arsenal's transfer window has suddenly become incredibly exciting. Gunners, this could be about to get crazy. One thing is certain, Arsenal are not finished. The club are still searching for attacking quality, Arteta wants more firepower, and the names being discussed are getting bigger and bigger. Kenan Yıldız could be the superstar of tomorrow. Julián Álvarez could be the statement signing of today, and Viktor Gyökeres could unexpectedly become the key piece in a deal that nobody saw coming. The negotiations are now the story. The Arsenal board have decisions to make. Juventus have a huge decision to make. Atlético Madrid have a huge decision to make. And Mikel Arteta is waiting to see which attacking blockbuster can finally be pushed over the line. Arsenal fans, hold on to your seats. This transfer window is far from over. Another solution ready to go. That is where Osimhen becomes extremely important. Interestingly, the Osimhen situation has already become connected to Arsenal's wider transfer activity. Arsenal have reportedly discussed Osimhen with Galatasaray during conversations that also involve Arsenal players Gabriel Martinelli and Ethan Nwaneri. So there could potentially be multiple layers to the negotiations. For Arsenal supporters, the biggest question now is simple. Who will Arteta get? Will it be Julián Álvarez, the technically brilliant Argentine forward who appears to be Arsenal's preferred target? Or will Arsenal make the blockbuster move for Victor Osimhen and bring one of the most physically dominant strikers in European football to the Emirates? At this stage, Álvarez appears to be ahead. The latest reports continue to put Arsenal in the race, while Barcelona's pursuit has also faced difficulties, potentially giving the Gunners more room to maneuver. But Arsenal supporters should remain cautious with the word confirmed. There is a difference between Arsenal actively pursuing a player, the player being interested in a move, and a completed agreement between the clubs. As of today, there is no official announcement confirming that Álvarez has agreed to join Arsenal or that Atlético Madrid have accepted an Arsenal bid. What we can say is that the pressure is increasing. Arsenal want a striker, Álvarez remains the preferred target. Osimhen is being discussed as the alternative, and Mikel Arteta appears determined to make sure the Gunners do not finish the window without adding another elite attacking option. Imagine the possibilities. Julián Álvarez leading the line at the Emirates, combining with Bukayo Saka, Martin Ødegaard and Arsenal's creative players. Or Victor Osimhen attacking crosses, running behind Premier League defenders and bringing the kind of explosive physical presence that can completely change the way Arsenal attack. Either signing would send a huge message. And that is ultimately what this transfer race is about. Arsenal have already shown that they are prepared to spend heavily to build a squad capable of competing for the biggest trophies. Now, Arteta wants the final attacking piece that can take this team to another level. The message coming out of the transfer operation is therefore becoming increasingly clear. Julián Álvarez first. Victor Osimhen if Álvarez cannot be done. One of these two superstars could become Arsenal's next major attacking signing, and if the latest reports about Arteta's direct approach to Álvarez prove accurate, the Arsenal manager may now be taking matters personally. The question is no longer whether Arsenal want an elite striker. They clearly do. The question is, which superstar will be wearing the red and white when the transfer window closes? Álvarez or Osimhen? Arsenal fans may not have to wait much longer for the answer.